Hi, my wonderful audience. Today, I'm so excited to introduce a wonderful guest from India. So, for us, he's a foreigner. He's here for a wonderful reason. And then I'm going to ask, what is that? And you will be laughing a lot on this episode because he's a well known comedian from India. Hi, welcome to my show.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, listeners. How are you? So my name is Manoj. I'm
Yeah.
a stand-up comedian from India. So thank you
Yes.
so much for having me. Such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Manoj. Manoj is here for his I would say the first time performance here in Australia in Melbourne Comedy Festival. So he did that wonderfully well, and then he was going around different cities, Sydney and Canberra and Adelaide, and again back in Melbourne, and before flying back to India. And I got a wonderful opportunity to have a special comedian audience happened this week. And that's what I thought I should bring him to you, my audience, because he is making people really and innocently laugh at all different things that he is doing. Let's see who are the people connected with him and how he is here in Melbourne. So tell us about your life, Manoj. I know that you started your life back in Chennai
Yeah.
and then started in a different world, not as a comedian. So tell me about yourself, how you became a comedian.
So I was born in Chennai. I
Mhm.
studied there, raised there. So I did my school, college, and everything.
Okay.
So it's a very typical Indian thing because, like, to join engineering,
Yes.
that
Engineer or doctor, right?
yeah. So because the trend was going on, I think it's still the trend
Yeah.
because there were a lot of job opportunities back then. I think it's still there, is there. So like I ended up doing engineering and I was working in an IT firm
Yeah.
as an IT engineer, software developer.
Yes.
So yeah, so I was working with this company called Infosys. I did really like the job. But and then after Infosys, I also worked with another company called Cognizant.
Hmm.
And then that's when I did my first stand-up show for fun as a
Hmm.
in one of the office outings I ended up doing there, and that's when, okay, then I realized, okay, maybe I should keep doing this or try and see what are the opportunities outside,
Yeah.
not just within the office space. But even during my college days, also, I was very active on stage. Like I
Yeah.
used to go around, do cultural fests.
Mm.
So I was like, I always knew that, that creative thing was there always in the back of the mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, in India, if you grow up, there are a lot of situations that forces you to get stuck into something.
Mm.
I won't say I got stuck, but it's like you won't be able to come out, or you don't have the leverage or privilege to do certain things or follow your passion or whatever.
Yeah.
But back then I also didn't know what my actual passion is. So
Mm.
I was working in IT and slowly I figured out. And once I did stand up in my office, maybe, and then I started exploring it outside.
Mm.
And once I started doing open mics outside the city,
Yeah.
so in the city, so like and Chennai's comedy scene is also very new back then.
Mm.
India itself is very new to
Yes.
comedy, probably 15 years old, maybe
Hmm.
16, 17 years old overall in India. But
Mm.
here in countries like Australia, it's so huge.
Yeah.
Like this year, the comedy festival was the 40th year.
Yes, it
So it's
is.
been going
Yeah.
around older than
No.
me. So like people here are so used to watching comedy, it has
Yeah.
become part of their culture.
Correct.
Because back in India, our form of entertainment is very different. We
Yeah.
are so invested in movies.
Yeah.
People watch movies,
Mm.
or even going to a live concert. That is picking up slowly now. People are
Yeah.
going to concerts, but that culture is there here.
Yeah.
So stand-up comedy is still seen as a very Western concept or a
Mm.
non-Indian
Yeah.
concept or a non-Asian concept.
Yeah, but I think, people are enjoying it
Yeah.
because I do remember that Melbourne is very famous for the comedy, and then people are waiting for the comedy festival. And Melbourne Comedy Festival is really good at pick up right people and different varieties and different tones. And I think these days they are actually picking the multicultural senses, and because people are from multicultural world and they understand what's happening in different area. Because as a comedian, you actually picking up the reality of the life, right?
Yeah.
And then putting in that sarcastic way, or maybe a real way that it's connecting to the heart. So I think it's really good to know that, you're from India and performing in a wonderful Melbourne Comedy Festival. But I would like to go back to your Chennai days when you started from Cognizant as a just to your colleagues, and then you felt that that's actually working. Then how did you then find out different avenues to do that back in India? Because people will get really emotional and then poked their feelings if you say something. But how did you overpower that?
Yeah, it's still a bit difficult or tricky in India to crack certain jokes. You can't cross the line
Yeah.
because you don't know what happens to people these days.
Mm.
But like most comics, we don't mean what we say. Our
Yeah.
our idea is to make people laugh. We
Mm.
don't mean. But again, yeah, it was difficult in the beginning. When I was searching for, there is any stand-up comedy actually happening in India,
Mhm.
I got to know that some comics from other cities are actually doing in Bangalore,
Yeah.
Bombay,
Mm-hmm.
Delhi. They have been doing for 1 or 2 years already.
Mm-hmm.
So through them, I got to know that in Chennai there are open mics
Yeah.
starting to happen.
Okay.
So I went and registered.
Uh-huh.
So there you can go and just test your material in front of a crowd, where you can go and perform in a cafe.
Mm.
The audience will be very minimal, probably five people or
Yeah.
even two people. So sometimes the open mic gets cancelled because there are no
Oh,
crowd. So
audience. Okay.
so all these things you have to go through. I mean, but that is where we go test our material.
Mm.
So that's a concept there world over. Even in Melbourne, there are open mics. But like if the comedy scene is established,
Mm.
then there are multiple open mics on the same day
Oh,
in
so you will
different
get different
places, in
places.
different clubs or
Mm.
pubs
Mm.
or cafes.
Yeah.
So, for example, here in Australia, especially in cities like Melbourne,
Mm.
pub culture or
Yes. Very active.
live performance scene where people go watch a live band
Mm.
perform. So the pub already has a stage, mic, and audio set up, and
Yes.
so that makes things easy for to someone to go and approach and ask
Yeah.
for a comedy gig.
Yes.
But in Chennai or in India in general, the club scene is very new and
Mm.
it's coming up. So there are not many avenues to go actually perform. There are not many pubs that have a mic or an audio system
Mm.
where you can. So we have to get all those, on
Yeah.
from
Our
our
own thing.
side.
Yeah.
So slowly things are changing, but
Things.
now back then it was little difficult, but now
Now it's getting
it
better.
is not like the level of Melbourne, but it is growing.
Yeah, okay. So if you haven't seen him in Melbourne Comedy Festival or an other performance that he did in this month, there are opportunities again. So we will be sharing his future events wherever happening in whichever the country that he is going. Because what I felt listening to his session is like, you can freely improve your health because you're really without knowing you're actually laughing and enjoying that moment, and then you are somehow your brain is connected to that talk, and then you are enjoying that moment. It's not like I'm worried about my mortgage, worried about my kids, worried about what's happening with the financial crisis. You are picking up the real stories and then making people laugh. So what do you feel when people are laughing on your
Yeah,
comedies?
I think that's the best feeling, to see people happy.
Yeah.
It's like, and that to a room full of people, you are facing them and everybody is facing you.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like, in a sense, it's like you have a control over them.
Yeah.
Like because you have the mic and you have but you should not use it in a wrong way, but like we just try to
Mhm.
make sure that everybody has a good time.
Yeah.
Like even if we try to talk to someone, we make sure that that banter stays as a banter and
Yeah.
it doesn't offend them or cross a line,
Yeah.
even when we are doing crowd work with the audience,
Yeah.
and they also enjoy
Enjoy that.
participating. So as long as it is fun, as long as the mood is happiness,
Mhm.
it is fine. Like we also, and with the experience, you also learn that where to not cross the line,
Yeah.
what not to say. Like,
Yeah.
in comedy, it's mostly about uh, telling a joke, but it is also about learning what not to say.
Not to say, okay.
So that is also very important.
So do you have a specific pattern when you do the show? This is what I do, or this is the area that. you pick?
Yeah, so most of my comedy, everybody has a different process of coming up with a joke that comes with their own lived experience. Like if I see something,
Yeah.
whatever I find funny, someone else might not.
Yeah.
So you have to somehow find a middle ground.
Yeah.
So not every joke works. That's why we go to open mics.
Yeah.
We repeat
Repeat the same thing.
same and see how audience react at different places. And then finally, if a joke has a 70% success rate, I think it
That
can,
you can you can
yeah.
pick.
So if it fails, or out of 10 times, if it fails 2 times, you can still call it as a joke
Joke,
because
okay.
it worked 8 times.
Yeah, okay.
Just because,
So when you
Mm.
perform that, your mindset will check whether that is
Yeah, yeah,
impacting on
yeah,
any
yeah. After a point, it becomes a muscle memory to
Okay.
not show it out. Like you know the joke works.
Yeah.
8 times it has worked. The ninth time, if it is failing, you can't show the audience that, okay,
Oh, it didn't
it
go
didn't
well.
work.
Yeah.
Maybe you pretend like this is not a joke.
Yeah.
Maybe this was the intention. So all that comes with
Yeah,
practice. It becomes
practice.
a muscle memory
Yeah.
after a point.
Do you remember your maybe like an initial time that you have done this and then felt like, oh, what's going to happen, or any other, like, really feeling stressed about it?
Yeah, yeah. In the beginning, because you have very limited information, even your own system doesn't understand what your style of comedy is,
Yeah.
because it's very new. So the more you do, the more you fail. Only then you understand what your style is.
Yeah.
So only then you realize, okay, maybe it's not like, see, I can write a set of jokes, and if I give it to you, if you perform, it might not work. And you can
Yeah.
write a set of jokes which works for you. If you give it to me, even with all my experience, I can't make it
Make
work
it work. Okay.
because that comes from your perspective.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, so that authenticity has to be there. So otherwise, it's very difficult to convince people.
Okay.
See, joke is mostly, it's not about the punchline, it's about the conviction.
Yeah.
It's like telling them that this is a joke.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything is just a normal sentence.
Yeah.
Otherwise, but the way you convince the audience, no, this is a joke, you have to laugh.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, when you share, I think all comedians is like that. They don't really do any facial expression saying that this is their job. That dialogue or the way that you're rendering is what feeling like, oh, wow, you clicked this point, and I know about that. So I know that when I heard you, it's more of like you connected a lot with Indian, our Chennai politics and religion, and then how people are picking up that in migrant country, and then they were enjoying it, and then the participation from the audience was amazing. Like, they're ready to tell everything openly, even though you are talking with different dogs. So how do you pick the audience? Do you measure the body language, or
No, I generally don't choose anybody or point out, like, because my crowd, there are comedians who do crowd work, like pointing out at someone, asking what you do, where you come from. But that is also one style. But what I try to do is, I have a material already. I will throw a question in connection to that material. Like, if I say, if I'm going to talk about driving a car, if that is my premise, I'll ask how many of you drive a car.
Oh, okay.
And someone say yes, then I'll ask what kind of car do you drive, how long you been driving.
Yeah,
So
that
that brings up something. But again, in crowd work, you just can't keep asking questions again and again. That will become redundant or become boring. At some point, something interesting has to
come
happen
out
so
of
that
it.
everybody is listening to this conversation. So they have to find it interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, so they should also be invested in the conversation. They should also get something interesting out of them.
Oh, okay.
So that is the comedian's job, to make them fumble, or and they're also, if entire audience are laughing, they are also, like, into the conversation. They also participate. They also tend to give more information.
Yeah.
So
And it's more of like it's very versatile way that you're picking up, right?
yeah,
So I was listening that you were asking a lady who was in Singapore, and then she was there, and then she mentioned that Chennai passport. So like, maybe that's a slip of word, but you picked up that as a real
True,
dog.
true. Yeah, she was also said, like, I'm here legally, and then I said, no, I'm not immigration. You need not explain me.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's a scripted one, but you picked up from that conversation.
It comes from experience, like, see, after a point, your brain will start functioning in a way, like you're going to, so if you work out and gain muscles, by muscle memory you can easily pick an object, or you don't feel the weight of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if you are not muscular, then when you see an object, your brain tells you that's heavy. Will you be able to do that?
Do that. Okay.
But if you have the muscle, if you have been working out and making you are convinced your system that that is not such
Heavy
a heavy
object.
object to pick up, you can casually do.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that kind of thing, our brain, so like that's what is happening. Like our brain starts thinking. So that's how instantly it comes.
Yeah.
It's
To make people laugh. So have you done any specific studies after entering into this career, like in how to make people laugh, or what are the comics that they should listen?
Yeah, see, I don't think there is any particular study,
Studies
because
there.
comedy is not science, and if you start treating it that way,
Mm-hmm.
it will become very objective,
Yeah.
and it loses the essence of it.
Yeah.
The beauty of comedy, beauty of a joke is it is subjective,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes that works for you.
Yeah.
The same show, if I had done for someone else, they might
What?
not like, what are you telling?
Yeah.
Nothing's relatable. I don't find anything funny. And that has happened, like even in Melbourne Festival, because I workshop this show in India
Mm-hmm.
in front of Indian audience,
Okay.
and one room full of white people are there.
Okay.
Their experience or their point of view about certain things, my life experience are totally different from theirs,
Yeah.
and that might not work, and I still enjoy that process
Okay.
because that is my perspective. And they
Yeah.
are also like, I mean, that's the beauty of a comedy festival. They also come to listen to, oh, this is your kind of comedy. Okay, maybe it's not funny to me, but
But
I will
it is,
still
yeah.
listen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I will give it a go.
Yeah, I saw the comments from last comedy festival from Melbourne, and all the white audience are clearly saying that your jokes were hilarious and that
Yeah,
they could laugh at it,
yeah,
especially when you talk about, like, oh, I'm from India, this is how we do,
yeah,
and the conversations that you make between you and your parents or your friends. It's quite new to the Australian audience, but I think with this multicultural tests of like lifestyle happening here. They love to hear what's happening in
yes,
an Indian world, because everywhere Indians
yes,
are here. So they understand the different ways that Indians are working or thinking, and they don't even look at how to, like, convey other
true.
country people. So how did you feel when you applied for this Melbourne Comedy Festival? I know that you have done different ones. So compared to Edinburgh and this here, what did you feel the difference?
Yeah, last year I did Edinburgh Fringe. That is a bit bigger than
Yeah,
Melbourne
Melbourne,
Festival,
yeah.
because and Edinburgh Fringe is not just a comedy festival, it's a arts festival.
Oh, okay.
So they do comedy, they do theater,
Mm-hmm.
clowning, so many different,
Different
like,
things.
and Edinburgh has like, in Edinburgh there are like almost 3,000 shows happening
Mm.
every day.
Yeah.
In Melbourne Festival it was 800 something every day.
Mm.
I mean, numbers wise,
It
Edinburgh
is
is bit
bigger.
bigger
Yeah.
and more older also.
Mm.
It's been going on for like, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 years.
Yes, okay.
Maybe even.
Yeah, we must have copied from them. Melbourne.
No, there is a, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And there is another concept in Adelaide called Adelaide Fringe.
Oh,
The
okay.
same Edinburgh Fringe happens in
Oh, the
Adelaide in
letters.
February.
Uh-huh.
Uh, that is not just comedy. That is
An
again
art.
art
Okay.
festival.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of huge in
Mm.
Adelaide. I
Yeah.
heard because I was there last weekend, my first time there.
Mm-hmm.
So they were telling that you should come perform at Adelaide Fringe. So maybe I'll try for
Apply
that.
for that. Okay, yeah.
So to answer your question, how did I, yeah,
End
yeah,
up it. Yeah, yeah.
so once 2 years ago, I went to watch Edinburgh Festival,
Mm.
because when you start doing comedy,
Mm.
you somehow get to know about the Fringe Festival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the word is that, like, that is the biggest place to go and perform.
Mm.
So that curiosity is there,
Is
like
there
what is that,
why
what's
it's a
happening
famous?
there,
Yeah. Okay.
like that is the biggest platform. I should someday go and see.
Mm.
So I went to watch some shows,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt like, wow, the hype is real. I
Mm-hmm.
have to be here.
Yeah.
So next year immediately,
Apply for
this show that I did here, I did the same
same here.
shares, because last year I started this show.
Mm-hmm.
Last year mid I started doing the show.
Yeah.
I took it to Edinburgh Fringe,
Mm-hmm.
and now yeah, I did the show in Edinburgh Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
I had that credentials, and I applied for
This one. Yeah.
Melbourne Festival, and the festival were happy to have me
Mm.
here.
It's amazing to, see that you go on and find out what are the areas, as I said. it's actually a career, and I think it's a growing career in the younger generation now.
True, true.
And as you, an IT professional coming from an Indian background, I can see different Indian people actually joking or mocking at the accent of English accent, or the way that we call, like, different words we can't still pronounce in Australian accent or in English, or in a UK or US accent. We have our own accent. So those type of comedy is really famous online, and then you are actually bringing your energy to the live people. And I can imagine how you control, or like, give that charisma to the people and enjoying that one. So just want to check with you with the Melbourne one. What was the special thing that you picked up from the audience? How do you rate other audience and then Melbourne audience? Because Melbourne is the best.
I'm sure it is now that I'm in Melbourne. I have no option. But yeah, it was fun. Like Melbourne, Australian crowd was very, very fun because last year I had the experience of performing at the Edinburgh Fringe. Because in India, you don't get the opportunity to perform for a global audience.
Yeah.
Like it's fully Indian people.
Indian people, yeah.
So they totally understand everything, our life and
Yeah.
everything. So since I had the experience of performing at the Edinburgh Fringe, I now had the experience of performing in front of white people.
Okay, yeah.
So now I was able to do that,
The tweaking of
yeah,
here and
where
there.
to
Yeah.
say what,
Yeah.
how to avoid certain things, what they will understand, what
Yeah.
they won't understand.
Mm.
All these things that was very helpful.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, I was able to do here, and it was a lot of fun. Not all shows go well. Again, because I did 2 weeks, I did 12 shows
Yeah.
for 2 weeks. So of course, there are some dull moments, some great moments, but that is the experience I wanted.
Yeah. You learn from those
Yeah.
experiences.
So
Yeah.
I mean, again, like is the show that we did recently that you were there, that was mostly Indian crowd.
Yeah, and
Only
then
Indian
you
crowd.
picked up all
Yeah,
Indians.
sure.
Yeah.
So it's always, I mean, like I am very confident that because I have workshopped this material in India, I know this material will definitely work in front of an Indian audience. But I want to see how white people are receiving this.
Yeah, okay.
No, white people also are enjoying, but like that, the dull moments that I'm saying is that like some are not able to connect.
Yeah.
And again, that's what I want. That's why I am here at the festival.
Yes,
So, and
correct.
they are also okay to listen to this kind of an experience or this kind of a perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an Indian guy. This is what is a joke for these people.
People. Yeah.
And I'm not here to judge. I'm
Yeah.
just here to listen. So
Yeah, I
that's
think the audience is really important, right? They have that receiving mindset,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
truly.
they feel that, okay, I need to check what is the different culture,
Yeah,
enjoying their jokes. Like, we talk a lot of religion and politics, right?
yeah,
And then movies.
yeah.
I think those are our normal people
True, true.
life. But in Western countries, they have lots of other bits and pieces. They think about all what's happening in the humanitarian perspective, the
True.
world perspective, the
Yeah.
world war perspective.
True, true.
So,
Like for example, like I have a bit about how I
mm,
learned about this concept called being woke.
yeah.
There in India, that is not a very general knowledge. Like,
Yeah, you
not
mentioned that you walk every day.
so that is not known for everybody. I
Yeah.
had in India, if I do that, I have to explain what woke is,
Yeah.
put that information in their
In
brain, and then
that,
make fun of it,
yeah,
or tell my experience about it or my
yeah.
perspective. But here in
You don't
Australia,
need
they,
to.
they already know. If
Mm-hmm.
I explain that, why are you explaining? I already know.
Yeah.
Just go to the punchline already.
Okay.
So this is the difference I'm talking about, like forming for Indian people.
And the audience one.
Yeah.
So I hope
And
that you enjoyed the whole.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And there are certain things which Indians instantly understand, which Australians don't,
Yeah.
or white people don't.
Yeah.
So this challenge is there. I won't call it as a challenge, but that's the essence, or that's the point of doing a
Yeah.
festival.
So you can clearly look at the audience and then change your, like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
punch, and
So
then
you have to
can,
rearrange.
yeah. And
Yeah.
but again, your script, or like your core of
Idea is
idea is the same,
same.
but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
deliver that in a different
Yeah,
way.
yeah. So like that.
I'm just thinking, curious about the people who are trying to come into this area, and I know that you've got huge fan list, and then your videos are really hype. I can see lots of views, and your Insta and the pages are really, really active. And if my audience, if you are thinking that you need to become like him as a comedian, I just gonna ask what's the basic things that you can start. So the question is like, if I want to become a comedian, what can be the basic? I know that you should have a bit of like an instinct, but what can be the other things that
Yeah,
we should learn or we should practice?
yeah. If you want a honest advice, don't become. I mean, like, if you're still passionate, I mean, just joking, but like, if you really like doing comedy, it
Yeah,
is a big struggle because you won't be successful from day one.
yeah.
I mean, in all aspects, I'm saying success, not just with reach
Mm,
or become making it as a career.
mm,
Even writing a 5 minute of joke is
mm.
still a success,
Yeah,
but that won't happen on day one.
Deva,
So
yeah.
you have to be willing to fail regularly,
Mm,
and you should not give up. I
yeah,
mean, this is the thing with any job,
yeah.
but in comedy, the failure rate, at least in the first 1 or 2 years, is
Mm.
going to be high.
Oh, okay.
Because when I started comedy, I quit my job only after 4 years.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, I was doing not in day one. I didn't feel like, okay, I did one show at my office. This is my career. No, it
No,
won't,
okay.
doesn't work that way.
Mm,
So 4 years, I was trying to understand, learn.
mm.
Only after that, I got the confidence that, okay,
Yeah, it
now
will.
I'm going to give it 1 year full time,
And then
and I'll
save
see
us.
how it works. If
Mm.
it doesn't work, I can go back to my job.
Yeah, okay.
But like, I at least to get that confidence of trying it out full time for a year,
Yeah, that's right.
because that 1 year is not going to pay me much.
Yeah.
So that 1 year is a struggle of trying to become successful,
Yeah.
or trying to establish a base so that we can
Yeah,
build
go.
things from there.
Yeah.
So it will be a struggle at least for 1 or 2 years. And
Mm.
again, it depends on the city that you are from.
Yeah.
Okay, because your city has to have that infrastructure of open mics.
Might, yeah.
If there is only one open mic a week,
Then it's
then
not,
it's going to
yeah.
be so. Like, there are cities like in Chennai or Bangalore, Bombay,
Mm.
even in Melbourne. So they do every day.
Mm.
And there are so many comics where you can form a
Comedy,
community,
yeah.
jam with them,
Yeah,
throw your ideas to them, get their
that's
suggestions.
right.
So that
So I think it's more of like you need to have a good audience that
mm,
they will be accepting whatever that
true,
you
true.
sharing or you
So
trying. Yeah.
sometimes, like, audience also, when they come to the open mics, they should also understand that this is an open mic
Mm.
where they are trying out something new.
Yeah.
That understanding is there here.
Yeah.
But in a country like India where comedy itself is growing, people don't understand. I mean, not everybody, but
Mm.
sometimes they tend to not understand the concept of
Mm.
uh, new
But
material or workshopping a material.
yeah.
They are like, why is it not funny like YouTube? Because the YouTube material that you see has been done for 6 months,
Yeah.
1 year. I
Yeah.
have polished it in so many cities
Different ways. Yeah.
in different ways. I have tweaked it. You're seeing the final product.
Yeah.
So at open mics, you just get the
Get it.
clay,
Yeah.
not the statue.
But again, I think, the open mic or
Mm.
seeing you in person is also an
Yeah, yeah,
experience.
that's
Yeah.
so comedy
Yeah.
is a very live art form.
Mm.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah, that's a very good point that you mentioned, because now people are used
Mm.
to watching stuff online,
Yeah.
videos, reels. People consume comedy on reels,
Mm.
but it is 10 times much better.
If you
Uh,
come and then see.
See, the
Yeah.
experience of watching a finished product
Mm.
online,
Mm.
it doesn't match the experience of a developing product live.
Live. Yeah.
So that
Yeah, I think that's what bit of like, media culture. They need that everything that thumb, like that 30 second.
yeah.
And you mentioned if it is 30, they will look only at the 7 second.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you
So
are in person, you are already committed that time. And then within that time frame, it's a guarantee that you will get connected with that person and then you will get that mindset and laughing a lot.
true, true.
So what's your future projects and then where we can see you in
Yeah, yeah. So right now I have this show which I started touring last year,
mm,
and I might do a few more cities in India. I'll do in India too.
hmm
And we are planning to do an Europe tour if things
yeah,
finalize. We'll do there. By the end of the year, I will retire this material online.
okay.
And I'm in the process of writing my next
The
show.
next one
So hopefully I'll bring that show again to
to the
Melbourne
Melbourne,
Festival
yes.
and other cities, or
Yeah.
maybe Adelaide Fringe, or even go to Edinburgh Fringe.
Mm.
So that is the idea.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of comedians. Like, they want the comedians coming back in every year and then give
Yeah,
different materials
true,
because
true.
they connected with that person and they have the confidence that they will deliver something new in a new context or like in a more on the current context and current affairs. So that's a great way that you are planning your next show and bringing that again to us.
That's how you build a audience base because if you don't live in that city, if you are coming once in a while, you have to come back with a new show.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's a little tough, but again, that's our job. You can't complain.
Yeah. So my audience, if you really love to hear, I know that this is not the comedy show. I was wondering whether he will be doing some comics to me while I'm interviewing him. So that's why he's not sharing any of his comedian style or jokes or anything to me. You can see that he's very, very serious, but you should watch him in person. I highly recommend. And on this your busy schedule, and if you can see if you are in India or if he is coming back here again, we will be advertising his programs. And I highly recommend come and have that intimate connections with that person, talking about different things happening, actively happening in the current environment. So thank you so much coming to us. I just want to quickly ask, my show is actually bringing people who spread love, joy, and peace. And then you obviously spreading love through your wonderful way of sharing that's coming out of your heart. So, what is a key message that you can share to our audience who maybe love to hear you, maybe love to become like you? So, what can be one message?
Yeah, I mean, like whatever you do, do it with the passion. Like, don't worry about the results. Just enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Because if you keep worrying about the outcome, that is an additional extra pressure that you are putting on yourself. So just do things with passion, enjoy, just chill. Life will happen.
Thank you. So, thank you so much for listening to us. And thank you again, Manoj, coming to the studio. I know that you're with a busy schedule flying back soon, but we are so excited to welcome to our studio and then, hearing what you are doing in this space. And then Melbourne is really want you to come, like, interested you to come back on our future comedy festivals.
Sure, I'm very much looking for my next Australia trip already.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely come back.
Okay.
Australia is a very nice country.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
So,
guys.
thank you everyone. So, for listening to us on this wonderful radio show called Dominus Nisi. This is happening on Friday afternoon, and I will give his Insta handle and website details under this video so you can follow him and connect with him and then find out what's the next video or next in person shows coming up. And thank you so much. This is your host, Bismi Palati on Dominus Nisi on 88.9 FM.